Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another exciting edition of Transformers Reviews. And this is your host, MJ Lee 29. And today, guys, I'm excited to bring you one of the most interesting characters, I believe, from the newest Transformers series. But this is Transformers Adventures Thunderhoof. And one thing that I'm noticing in the packaging is, as opposed to the domestic version, Thunderhoof looks like he has some pretty sweet paint. Being a Takara version. Anyway, but it's your standard Transformers on the right hand side, along with pretty sweet art on the back of him and, you know, his tech spec, I guess. You know, your standard comparable packaging from Takara. I got it from TAV source, and I don't know whether it was in packaging or what, but the package itself kind of got dinged up and damaged, but I'm not going to hold that against TF source, as you know, it may have not even been their fault. So anyway, I'm just happy to get it. So let's take a look at this guy in his vehicle mode and see how he looks out of the packaging. And here we have Thunderhoof in his vehicle mode. And I must say that, you know, some Transformers, they have a lack of paint, they suffer from that. Well, evidently Thunderhoof is not one of them. I mean, he has got it all over him. The mixtures of different blues and little bits of reds and other stuff, and the silvers, the gunmetal grays. And I mean, just even though some of this is the molded color of the plastic, they have enough distinction on this guy to make him unique. And you know what? I've thought it was kind of weird at first, and I kind of disliked the fact that he was a tractor, but the more I mess with it, I mean, on this surface it does not roll so great, but on every other surface he just rolls wonderfully. And this giant rake thing on the front doesn't look stupid. Now, a lot of you may be noticing the gun up here. Now, for the domestic version, this gun is black, but for this, they kept, I mean, it's the same exact mold, they just kept it in this same blue plastic. Now, what's interesting is you can have it mounted up here on the roof, but say you wanted to have it more concealed. Well, there's a place under here, and I don't know if you guys can see it. There's a little, let's see if we get it to focus. There's a little notch in there, and there's also a little hole. Well, there's a notch and the handle, they just fit right in there. Let's see if we can get that. Aha. Just make it fit right up in there. Okay, and the back wheels are tall enough that it's just barely right. I mean, if you try to look at it pretty much straight on, the wheels are just tall enough to where it's not going to hinder it if it's, you know, you're moving it on a flat surface. Now, you know, if you have this on carpet, then that may catch. So, you know, and I may mess with it a little bit later and see if I can put it up farther in there. Now it's a little bit farther up, but so anyway, you know, you just have to be wary of that being a possibility. But like I said, I love his vehicle mode. You know, it's just so sweet. And I mean, I didn't expect that for a tractor. I don't know if there's been any other Transformers that have been a farm tractor. You know, correct me if I'm wrong, if any of you know. But anyway, I mean, it's a pretty sweet vehicle mode. I love it. It's kind of compact. But I tell you what, let's go ahead and take a look at a comparison. And just see how he really stacks up. And here he is with the Judas of the Primes, the Fallen himself, none other than Megatronus. And you know what? They stack pretty well together. I don't complain. I mean, Megatronus is obviously a lot wider. Lengthwise, I mean, if you don't even count the bayonet on Megatronus, then he still outdoes him on that. So Megatronus is just more of a spread out, bulky vehicle. But you know what? I mean, if you're going to display them next to each other, I mean, true, one's a tank, one's a tractor, but they don't look bad. I mean, two dark colored robots next to each other, they're both Decepticons. You can't complain about that. So anyway, let's just see how awesome he looks in robot mode. Oh yeah. I mean, at first I didn't take him seriously because of the antlers on his head. But, you know, the more I've seen him in the show and stuff, I love it. And this is an excellent translation of that. And the gun doesn't look stupid, even in the blue color. So, I mean, you can get him in some pretty sweet poses. Also, this gun, the handle, you can put it back here for storage if you want. But a lot of people have, you know, worried about the coverage, his head being able to turn. You know, what the deal is in going from vehicle mode, his antlers are like this in vehicle mode. They're straight across. So, I mean, if you look at that and you point him up like that, you're going to give him more of his, let's see if we can get him down here, you're going to give him more of his traditional look, like that. So, and they also tip forward and stuff like that. So, but overall, I mean, once you put them up, I mean, there's not really that much issue of a head clearance unless you make the shoulders raise up. Which the arms are another thing, because you see they're on this ball and socket joint, which is kind of back here. It's got this weird funky angle back here for the shoulders. And then this piece down here, it's more for transformation, but you can really pivot it. And a lot, I mean, it's the same on the other arm, so that's kind of cool. It allows for you know, unique poses and stuff. And for Thunderhoof, for a guy that's this cool, I mean, come on. So anyway, the colors that he had in vehicle mode, they translate really excellent in robot mode. I really like it. And his robot mode, some people have complained that he's rather skinny, but I mean, personally, I'm probably never going to display him from the side, not because of that, but just because, look at this. Look at how cool he looks from the front. I mean, he doesn't look disproportionate. I mean, he looks big and bulky. And I mean, come on, it's Thunderhoof. So, you know, we compared him with Megatronus before. Let's just compare him with Megatronus now. I mean, if they were standing straight up, if you don't count the antlers, their heads are almost the same. Megatronus may be just a tad bit taller. He definitely looks it on the camera. So anyway, but I mean, come on, these guys, like a you know, in vehicle mode they look good together, but I mean, come on, in robot mode, it looks even more, you know, menacing. So final thoughts on Thunderhoof. I love his robot mode even better than his vehicle mode, honestly. I mean, look at the head sculpt. I mean, that's a dead ringer for this guy. Now, if you guys are thinking about buying one, if you're looking for a recommendation, I can only give my recommendation for the Takara version. I don't have the domestic version, so you might want to look for reviews on that and see the differences with this one. But other than that, I mean, it's a solid figure overall. The mold itself is solid. The design aesthetics are great. They nail him. So anyway, this has been the review for Transformers Adventures Thunderhoof.